In previous seasons, we had this concept where each guest would leave a gem, a message, or a piece of advice or wisdom for the next guest without knowing who the next person would be. Honestly, the whole thing felt divinely orchestrated. This compilation features gem drops from all of our season 4 guests.
That's what I would say. Yeah. When you feel stuck, go deeper. Yeah. So I'm sure that will mean different things for different people. Um, but yeah. Sleep on it.
That's cool. So when I bat in and the ball got me tied down, don't block the next ball, try and hit it for 6.
Hit it for 6. Go deeper. What are we talking about? Yeah, so it's your turn to leave the
I
gem
gotta think
for
of
the
some
next
words
one.
of knowledge here.
But I also want you to, just bring it from the heart too as well. Something that you may be thinking about recently that may be coming to you, a challenge or something that a personal experience, something that serve you along the way, something that you keep going back to that allow you to keep going, that you want to share.
All right. Well, in that case, I will have something.
All right, let's
go.
Ready? You ready?
All right. I guess I would say for me is trust the process. I feel like that's definitely something when I was going through in sport, and everything kind of fluctuating up and down. Just about staying level, staying in the middle, never getting too high when the time is going well, but never getting too low as well. And trusting the process, believing in yourself that you're doing everything you can and you know you're doing what it takes to make your dream work. But just trusting the process along that way.
Nice. That was good. Thank you.
Easy.
Thank you.
That was a perfect gem right there, boy.
There you go.
That's the perfect gem. Wow.
That's for you, buddy.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Put that in your pocket. No, you gotta share something. It ain't free.
Right.
I could give you a minute, but just speak from, like, it could be something that you would have used internally to get you to this point. Something that you keep reminding yourself about that that made change.
Man, I got a little voice in the back of my head that's just like, Big Man, you're the best in the world. Yeah. And
we need that.
I need that. I need that. I think people need to not shy away from that voice that just be gassing you up. They be like, you're great, you're amazing, you're the best. So a lot of people silence that voice. Stop silencing that voice that's inside of you, telling you that you're amazing and that you're great. You start to feel like you might be arrogant or prideful. Nah, that is the greatness in you speaking to you. So listen to your voice, believe it, and walk with it. That's my gem right there.
Oh, no pressure then.
That's your gem.
That is an incredible message, and that's
Yeah,
that's a good one for me, for sure.
The absolute opposite to counteract what you were saying earlier, where you have a voice that tells you something else.
100%.
Which is the liar, by the way. So this was for you.
Yes, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
All right. So if you want a moment to think about it, but just speak what's on your heart where you are now, or just use something that allow you to carry on. It doesn't have to be long, or it's short. Just whatever feels good to you, and whatever comes.
Okay. There's a couple things. Recently, someone came to me for help with working on a project of theirs, and they were asking me lots of different questions, and I realized like I don't have anything to give them that they don't already have. Everything that you need is already inside of you. Sometimes we just need somebody to let us know that. And I really, okay, this person actually said to me, I feel like you don't want to tell me, like it's like you keeping a secret from me. And I was like, no, I like, what do you want? What do you want from me? And I think it's kind of funny. It's like when people go to like a priest or a monk or something and they're like, you've figured life out. Tell me what to do. And the priest or the monk doesn't really have anything to give to you. But they'll play the game with you because that's what you want. You want to play the game, right? And so I played the game with him. And all we really did was we had a conversation. It was more like I was a therapist than I was like a professional. We really just talked. We talked for like 2 hours. And afterwards they left and were like, this is the most amazing session I've ever had. And I was like, I didn't do anything for you.
Wow.
You already had all that inside of you. So that's one. And then the other thing that struck me was I saw a quote the other day, and I don't know who it's attributed to, but it said, I helped a man climb a mountain and realized that I too had reached the top. And I thought it was so profound. It's like, don't be afraid to ask for help, and don't be afraid to help other people. Mm-hmm. We are community is extremely important.
Yeah.
You know, collaboration is extremely important. You're not going to lose anything by helping someone else, and you're not gonna. So many times I've been struggling, and I realized like when I help someone else, all of a sudden I'm not struggling anymore.
Wow.
You know, my difficulty has completely faded away, and nothing's changed. The same thing that I was worried about is still there, but by helping someone else, I gain this perspective that it's fine. It's fine.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for that.
That's some profound words, man.
Yeah.
Simon, man.
So that is your gem
Yes.
to take.
I do take it, man.
Yeah.
I take it. It's good to be reminded of that. That's powerful. Very, very
Yeah.
powerful.
And we were just talking about sharing and educating and community.
Yeah,
and
community,
stuff like
community.
That, you know.
I mean, he said it. He said it very eloquently. You know, the truth is, man, is like we cannot survive without each other.
Yeah.
And I think like I would say the only thing I want to take back from the past, because I was never one of those guys that was like, you know, the young people need to be taught things from the past, or the music the young people listen to is garbage. I embrace it all. Mm-hmm. Whatever young people want to do, I still consider themselves young, but whatever they want to do, I'm for it, right? The one thing I would say is that we have gone away from being patient with each other. We've gone away from being understanding. You know, we've gone away. Everything is taken so personally. You know, everything is an offense, a great deep. You know, it's like nothing is just a conversation anymore. We don't know how to converse anymore, right? No one really knows how to have a proper conversation, right? And the etiquette. And just be passionate, get amongst your friends and talk and be open, you know? So if I was to leave a gem, and I take Simon's gem, by the way, I want to say I'm very proud of Simon. Like, I love that guy. Like I don't even know what to tell you, man. You know what I mean? Like, he's a good man, you know? But the gem I would want to leave would be, you know, we gotta spend more time just being more considerate of each other, being more aware of, you know, how we interact with each other, being more led by love, you know, being more aware of and being more content. You know, I think like the desire to always think that you're never enough, or we never have enough, or we need to have more, is poisoning. You know, and I think that if we can get back to just that community spirit, that sense and desire. And you'd be surprised, there's reasons why a lot of my mates who work in the industry and they do exceptionally well, they want to move to island like Barbados because they want that community spirit. They want to be around people who they can just say, hey, hello, how are you? Have a conversation. You know what I mean? And those were things that used to make my day when I used to travel, whether it was I used to catch a bus as a young man, and you would meet an older woman on the bus and you're having a conversation with a random person and she would tell you a story and the story would just live with you. You know what I mean? Like, those are the things I used to look forward to.
Yeah.
And I find that we've gone away from that. So that would be my gem, is like to get back to contentment, to get back to being patient with each other, being aware of each other, being more considerate of each other, and overall, just don't take everything so personally. Really understand that life is, it's gonna come at you, and it's not attacking your choices, your preference, your ideas. It's not that. It's as I said, friction to create strength. You know what I mean?
Thank you, sir. I'll take that.
Yeah.
Gem. You gotta get some snaps. Gem. True gem.
Yeah, so that gem was for you. You spoke about community earlier
Yes.
and how important that is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Community is super important.
yeah. So it's your turn.
My turn to drop a gem. Okay.
Here we go.
Yeah. All right. So, for all the gemsters out there,
Gemsters.
here's my gem. So this is actually something that I've tested. This is something that I live by. One of the things that I did here, even in this, is I'm always careful to make mention of those that have helped me along the way. It takes a village to raise a child. Oftentimes, when you've been given, something that is noble in the eyes of many, noble in the eyes of man, you do sometimes wear it on your shoulder, and you tend to think, okay, well, look at what I've done. I am nothing without the people that have helped me, whether it be in the most insignificant ways or in the most significant ways. So I say that to say my gem is to honor those that have helped you, whether it be your mother, your father. I believe that's where it starts. The Bible talks about honoring your parents. I believe that's where it starts. Everything else, I believe it comes from the honoring your parents. And I have done my best to practice that in my life. So I'm gonna even go as far as to honoring a few people that I know that have helped me. Gotta big up my man KB Sharp. He's one of the first persons that come to the top of my head. He was somebody that when I was 13 years old, even younger, he was one of the persons that I believe God put in my life. He saw something in me and I looked up to him. He was one of my engineers for a very long time. Janice Millington was somebody that taught me and recognized something in me when I was very young. Anthony Lohar, another local legend that I mentioned earlier. He was the first person to ever record me. Without him, I would not be here today, just based on the fact that he was the first person to even hear me in the studio. Obviously, my dad is a big legend in his own right, but to me, that's my dad. He's somebody that spent all of his time, all of his money to see me become who I am today. Rookie Blade, another person that wrote all of my songs. And you see, the problem about this is when you start naming names,
You gotta name everybody.
You gotta name all the names. But listen to all of my mother. My mother has been somebody that I consider to be, whether I'm working at a gas station or whether I'm working at the highest level, she is somebody that I know that's proud of me, that sees me through that lens of love. And, and to all of the others, whether spiritually or just professionally, August Rigo, another Dimitri James, all of these names, you may not know them, but I mention all these names again in practicing the honor that I've lived by, and these doors and the doors that I'm seeing opening now is a result of making sure that I remember those that have helped me along the way. So yeah.
You ready?
Yeah, man, we're rolling.
All right. Well, the first thing I would say is that when it comes to life in general, you know, we cannot be afraid to make mistakes, right? Making mistakes is all part of the process. And once we understand it as part of the process, the main thing with making mistakes is embrace it. But more than embracing it, learning from it, right? I would not have been where I am today if I didn't make mistakes. You know, I haven't had a flawless DJ career. There have been events that I've played at that didn't go as I would have wanted it to. But guess what? You know, you pick up, you see where you went wrong, and you do all that you can to not repeat it, because at the end of the day, making mistakes is all part of the process. And once you understand it as part of the process and it happens to you, you don't let that stop you from going further. Because when you look at certain franchises and other people that are successful, you know, they made mistakes. They have been rejected. You know, they have been pulled down. But you have to continue. And I always believe consistency is one of the keys to being successful.
That's brilliant, brilliant. So that's, in other words, fail forward.
Fail forward. You have to fail forward.
I thought you just wanted me to leave like a ruby or something, like a
No.
fancy-
We deal
a
with
fancy
things
gem.
that value more than
I gotta
that.
take off my chain or something. And
That's material things. What we deal with
okay.
is input, knowledge, wisdom, inspiration, motivation that you
Yes.
could then make way more
Yes,
than I
yes,
would be.
yes.
So you gotta leave a gem for the next person here. And because the talent that you have, and I know you fill with gems, you fill with knowledge, it can give you an option. If you can chant this gem for me, that's one. You just gotta give me one.
If I could chat the Jeffrey, wow, that's interesting.
But if you say and you speak normal, like how you heard it just now, I need at least 2 gems.
If I can speak it like I spoke that.
Yeah, if it's spoken word, I need 2. But this I think is fair because of the talent you come in here with. And so if you do it like that, or
So how about if I give you one of them and
you can
chant one too?
yeah, all right, I ain't a complain. You ready? I just can't wait to set in my levels because you know you can project.
All right, what I can do is I'll give you I will leave a verse with you from one of my songs, which I think is a very inspirational verse for me. It took me a little while to write the verse, but when you listen to it, you have a very good understanding of not just myself, but if you're a person like me, you have a very good understanding of yourself as well.
Understood. So what I will say, that I want that whatever you're about to let come out, I want it to be like how you came up with Nakente.
Okay.
I want it to, whatever you feel in your heart at the moment, whatever you think is pressing on you to share, that's what I want to come out.
All right, well, let me first say, this is Gem I can leave with you. One of the things I've learned in my life is that we tend to think that there's not enough time. There's not enough of whatever it is there is that we want to get, because we think that the pie is only this big and there's only so much that you can have, and most of the people in the world have already taken whatever part of the pie is. Now everybody remember, each day has 24 hours. Everybody has 24 hours. Trump do it in 24 hours. Ibrahim Traore do it in 24 hours. Albert Einstein do it in 24 hours. Everybody had 24 hours. They just had to balance the 24 hours. So don't look at another person and think to yourself that, oh, this person got so much more and all these. Nah. Everybody got 24 hours. gotta learn how to work with your 24 hours. The things that I have to do with my day is different than the things that you have to do with your day. So, balance is key.
Got it. Okay, I'll take that.
All right.
I'll take that.
Okay, that's, and I agree with that tremendously. This is not my gem yet. Just comment.
I got you covered. Yeah, do your thing.
I say every morning, everyone wakes up with 86,400 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
No more, no less. You can't carry you. So it's equal time.
True.
But Gem, what would I say? I guess along the lines at which we were speaking, is that my gem with that everyone is in charge of their life. Nobody owes you anything. Everything is happening to you. What's happened to you is all you. And you have to recognize that if you want to change where you are, what you're doing, you want to achieve anything, first start with you imagining and wanting to be that change. To change, if you want to become fitter, it starts. If you want to be financially independent, it starts with you. If you want a new career, it starts with you. And so you have to get up and imagine and dream. And then having dream, you have to believe it to be true. You can imagine yourself in that position. Imagine yourself doing the thing that you dream about. And 3, work hard at it, and it will happen. When Nefer was a summit that saying, Mark 11:24, when whatsoever you desire, dreaming, when you pray, believe you will receive. That's belief. That's living the dream, living it even before it happened. You walk on and say, I'm the best brand coach there is ever, and the best economist. I am going to achieve this, which is, may appear to be a lie in the present time, but that's your dream, and it shall be done. So taking ownership of who you are, everything around you, and accepting your path, accept everything. It's all you.
Brilliant. I love it. That was actually a really good summary of the conversation.
Yeah.
How does that resonate with you?
I don't come on things and cry, you know. It's a bad man. It goes with my allergies. It's something to hear that y'all use already. You know, when the governor could stop from handling finances to come and tell you exactly what you're going through, and he didn't have no way to know that was me, and that's how God works. We just people ask, how do you know God is talking to you? How would he know to say this to me in this moment? That's a prime example of how God works. See how he works?
Exactly.
He have just said everything to me, that who I am and who I am becoming and how I have operated, and that it all makes sense.
It's divine. The same way how you're about to leave something for the next person. Search your heart for something that you usually would use. Something that you always go back to keep you going. You know, like anytime that you're feeling low, because leaders also need encouragement, and they also need to tap into to other things, and they need the support. So anything that you could, you know, any method or any tactic, any strategy, or any quote that comes into your mind or whatever, just say.
wanna, you know, something that I wanna leave with the next person is that I want you to know that all that you are doing is not in vain. We see you, we hear you, we understand you, and you may have had a hard day before you come, and you may have been putting on your bravest face. And I want you to know that all that you have been doing is not in vain. I want you to take a moment and breathe in and out and look back at all the things that you would have asked about, all the things you would have prayed on, all of the things that you would have written down. And just think about one thing that you've accomplished out of those things, how small it could be, how insignificant it could be to you. Know that use that as your source to propel you to the next best and the great thing that you have on your mind. All that you are doing is not in vain. And I want for the next person who is coming to understand that, may this be a reminder to you that you are worth it and that you's a big one and it all makes sense.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. I think that was very fitting.
Yeah. Actually, it makes a lot of sense for me, believe it or not.
Yeah, it's very fitting. So the exchange is that you gotta drop yours now. Anything that comes to mind or to heart, something that you go to as a reminder.
Yeah, I feel like mine is very similar to his. I would say, you know, one thing that I would like to leave behind, whether this is something that a person may already do or not, is collect everything that you encounter, any piece of information. Lily Dash is actually the person who shared this with me, and I feel like I want to share this back with people. I had told her that I just store information. She said, yeah, it's called collecting data. And my advice to anybody would be, use your brain as a hard drive, truly, like zone in on it and literally collect all data that you can from everybody, anybody, anything they say, anything they do, any way that they behave, and just store it in a vault, because you'd be surprised how in the future a lot of these things, you know, make sense to you in one way or the other, whether that be formulating a business that, no, because you hear even like a vagrant might have said something that now you understand the mindset of a particular person, a person somewhere else might have said something to you. It means nothing to you in the point in time. And a lot of people tend to be like, oh, you can tell me something, you can't tell me that. You know what I mean? Keep and store as much information as you can, even if you don't agree with it, because you never know. I have utilized so much information 15, 20 years down the line that never even made any sense to me, because I just collect data and I store it.
Yeah, I like that. All right, there you have it. I hope you enjoyed the compilation. If you would like to dive deeper, you can watch the full episode of any guest featured. I have dropped the links in the description below if you're watching this on YouTube. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that button, and don't forget to tap the notification bell so that you can stay up to date. And finally, follow us on Instagram at Gems from Friends, or me personally at Future, FEWWTURE, or check out my website, future.com. Check out something. All right, fall into the family. Thank you.